hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I tried to use the mic, but I'm gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah, I tried to use my headphones and I was like, it's the iPhone one and it doesn't fit into my old like Mac
Yeah,
just desktop thing. So
yeah. I thought I could just sit down and try using the mic because I got these headphones, but they're super knotted up. You see this thing?
yeah, not worth it.
It's a mess. So we'll try that for another time. But
Yeah, it's all
man,
good.
this is the Necoda Matthew special right here.
I mean, that's what it said. That is what it said. I love that. Love that.
Hell yeah, man. I'm super excited to have you on. So I guess we always kick off each episode with having the guest introduce himself. So go ahead and say your name and your business or Instagram handle.
All right. So I'm Necoda Matthew Nealon. So I go by Necoda Matthew Designs, and that's Necoda_Matthew. You might need to put the spelling somewhere on that. I've been asked it my whole life. So or just good luck. So but
Yeah, no, I love that name. I think it's super unique. And that's one of the things too that is very attractive about your page. It's like Necoda. Oh, okay. It sounds like it's just a cool thing. It's one of those extra things.
yeah. I kind of had it.
It's
And then dude, my friend just texted me the other day. He was like, if you just Google your first name, your website is the first thing that comes up. And I was like, just meant to be. It's just I'm Necoda. That is it. So
there it is, one of the perks already.
yeah.
But yeah, guys, welcome to the 1980 podcast. And if you're wondering why we're hanging out with Necoda, other than the fact that he's just a cool dude, well, let me tell you, man. I'm going to tell you guys a cool little story. So I had posted up the reel that I had done. It was a podcast clip from a podcast that I did with Vintage Zach. And one of the comments on that reel that I posted was, "I'm going to be on here soon." Or what was, I forget the exact words, but
It was like once I blow up, I'm going to be on here. And yeah, you can keep going from there. Because I've been following you from a while. I've been following you for a while. So
I appreciate that. Yeah. And, me humbly just doing the podcast, just getting a kick out of chopping it up with people who share the same interests which is secondhand vintage clothing, thrifting and all that. For someone to leave that on a podcast clip, I was like, wow, that's really cool that someone would aspire to want to talk to me,
yeah.
So I went, looked at your page based off of your comment, and first reel that I clicked was you role playing, and you were talking to yourself. Hey, I have this clothes, and I think it needs to be updated. You threw it, you caught it, you caught what
the classic.
Cut, and you
That's
said,
now the classic.
No worries, give me about 3 days, and I'll see what I can come up with. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, okay, this is cool, this is funny, And then at the end of the video, the guy comes back, or you playing someone else comes back and says, "Hey, I'm here. What do you got for me?" You're almost like uninterested. You're like, what do you got? What'd you come up with? And then you present the item that you've now reworked. And I thought that was such a cool and smart way to get across your message, which is that you love rework clothing and upcycling clothing. It's good for the environment. And it was a clever way of delivering that message while also showing off your expertise, because you're really good at it. It looks really great, all the pieces that
Thank you.
And I remember being very impressed by that reel and thinking, man, if anybody's going to blow up, I want it to be this guy, because look at the effort that he's putting into his stuff. I want to see this guy blow up. So I'm going to keep following him. And I was like, you know what? Even if he throws up some cool pieces, I'll repost them to help him out, And little did we know, you didn't need my freaking help. If anything, I probably need your help. All right. So guys, I go on his page and I'm going through his content, and I can appreciate the uniqueness of it. And this guy has 2,000 followers. And I was like, man, I love that energy, even at 2,000 followers, the energy that he left the comment with, which is, I'm going to blow up and I'll be on here soon. A couple days later, he shows up on my stories, all the stories at the top of Instagram. And he's up there, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's probably because I just followed him, but let me see what this guy's up to. and you're like thanking everyone. Guys, I don't know what happened. This is insane. 50,000 followers in a week, or no, it wasn't even a week. You were like, we gained 50,
Days.
yeah, in like 2 days, we gained 50,000 followers. I was like, no way. I remember this guy only had like 2K followers. I went on his page and he had 55,000 followers. All his posts were blowing up. And where are you at now?
I think I recently just checked. We're at 186,000.
Oh,
They're
bro, you're
like,
showing no signs of stopping.
yeah. So I actually checked. I was at 100 on the 9th of January. So 9 days ago, 100,000, on the way to 200,000. And that's why I want to like announce my next drop that's gonna come out. But otherwise, I mean, I've just been putting out the normal amount of content that I was putting out before. But everything old is coming back to life. Everyone's just checking out. They must see one video and then just like keep going through. Because I've seen like 3 comments in a row of the same person but different videos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, which like do I respond to all these? So I like, oh, it's a lot, and like DMs every day. But
Well, that's incredible. You got to ask yourself, what is it about what I'm doing that is hitting the most? Because that's like you went viral pretty
yeah,
much. You go from 2,000 to now almost 200,000 followers in a matter of like a couple weeks, I think
month.
it's been.
I think like a month. I've made it's like your reach. It says your reach. I actually just hit today 3 million people in the past 30 days. So that's just like people that have seen any content from me, which is, I don't even think that's the whole 30 days. Like that's with the spike being in the middle of that 30.
Yeah.
So like I want to see that trend just like continue like the whole year, and like imagine like what that total number could be if that's 30 days, where like how much influence can one guy make? Like it's one account, but it's also like just me doing everything for now.
So what do you think it is? Do you think it's the entertainment factor of what you're doing, or the role playing that is really cool? Because that's what caught my attention. Or do you think that there's something deeper there? People just love the sustainability factor of what you're doing.
I think it's the fact that, I mean, I watch my own videos over and over. They're just easy to watch. They have a good like before and after. I mean, you might even not notice something until the second time you watch it. Like in the final piece, you might be like, "Oh, I didn't even know there's another pocket in there, but it was collars or something like that." And then I just get so many comments that are like, "I've never thought to do this. Like, I'm gonna go buy a sewing machine," or like, "I've had a sewing machine. Like, I'm gonna go get clothes out of my attic." Just it's like so much good that I see every morning. Like, I enjoy checking my social media. Like, I like it. It's all good. It's literally good. If anything, I get bad acting for every now and then. And I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not like, I mean, I'm just me. Like you, this is me. This is the same way I like me that's talking to videos. Like, hey man, that's it. Same guy.
What do you think about another thing that's going on right now where people are noticing that there's a shift in the kind of content that gets traction and they
Mhm.
want to learn how to make better content? And when they see someone having fun and being very effective with their content, they also want to learn from that person too. Because
For sure.
I have some friends that before everything switched to Reels and TikToks, they were doing editing and videography for a long time. And it
Mhm.
was always like kind of starving artist type work. But now with the switch, they're blowing up and becoming viral.
Yeah.
Do you think that has anything to do with it too? People trying to soak up game from you?
See, I think that people were taking I think like the TikTok, I haven't even posted anything on TikTok, by the way, but like TikToks, but I've watched them. Like I've had the apps, TikToks, Instagram, all that. I just think it was getting too much into a production factor. And I think now people like seeing the easy, like original way to do it. Like there's no song I've heard 100 times already today on this app. There's no like pointing at like video and like writing you have to read it. I mean, like I don't like think anyone's doing anything right or wrong. But I was tired of I tried everything. I did the trends. I did the like having to lip sync up with audios and, like, hey, watch this and do a like really fast like timeline thing. But I was just like, it was extra work. And it was like, I'm going to do what I can optimize the most with, especially the equipment I had, which is an iPhone. And that's like it. And then I've bought in like a few tripods that have broken here and there because they're cheap ones. And then the same with lights. And so like that's what I think I would encourage people to do, is to like work with what you have. And some people, like, they must appreciate it because it's relatable, because people must see the content and be like, I can make these videos. And I'm like, I bet everyone could. And I bet there's people that could make the shirts too. But I don't know. I enjoy doing it. And I think that's what people like seeing. It's not me being like, oh, I actually have to act for this. Like, I'm not acting. So I don't know. I was going for easy for me. And I think that's my recommendation for people, especially if it's like real. I don't know. You definitely get that like weird, like, have to videotape yourself in public, but like it pays off eventually.
Yeah, totally. As we can see, it's funny the contrast between you and my previous guest, Vintage Zach, who says, like, he told me, he's like, I know life uh content. Like, I just wanted to learn it. So he does a lot of the things that, like, I think now he's starting to become more of his own unique type of content creator, at least in my opinion. But in the beginning, he's admitted that, you got to take things from certain creators that you like. You're kind of the opposite. You're like, dude, I'm so tired of seeing the same stuff that I got to do something that's uniquely me and is going to be practical.
Simple, gets the message out. I let the pieces speak. I explain the features about them, but don't like ever brag about them. They're never like super high end fancy. Like, I just put a lot of time into them, and try and make, I want to help people stand out. Like, I want people to be wearing this shirt out and someone's like, hey man, I really like that shirt. Or like, even if you don't tell them where you got it, like, I don't care. I just like, it's happened to me. It's a confidence booster. I mean, I see so many, I went to school, like I went to college. I had all guy roommates multiple times. Like, guys don't know how to dress. And I think like I've looked on YouTube and it's hard to find relatable styles that aren't like runway stuff or like over the top street style with like just too much going on.
Yeah.
So I wanted to,
or hard to get brands.
Exactly. I just wanted to bring simple things that are simple together. They're simple by themselves, and just make something really good together,
I've always had a theory, because I feel like one thing that's always put me ahead in my industry is that I kind of am not afraid to be myself in the items that I curate and the way that I present myself. And sometimes it comes with weird looks, but I've found that in order to separate yourself, you got to be yourself. And we all have unique things about us that if we just double down on them, will separate us from the pack, and as a result, put us ahead. And I think that's something that you were able to harness. You were just like, through being like, I'm not going to do what I see on all these reels all day. I'm going to do what I want to do, double down on it, and have fun with it. And I think nobody else can do it the way you do it. So you found that that point where you're just being uniquely you. And I think that that's so important for people, because when they see trending audio or all these trends that you got to do, who creates those trends?
Yeah, it's intimidating too. It's intimidating. And that's all the stuff that like the YouTube videos tell you to do. They all say, use the upcoming audios, you do the trends, like, bomb hashtags. Like I pick hashtags unique to who I want to see my things.
Yeah.
10, if anything, 10.
Yeah, so
I can own those.
You could follow all those rules, or you could just be yourself and figure out a way to express that. So exactly. I feel like I know it's about being yourself, because that's been the case for me in the past. I just need to figure out how to express that. I'm kind of in a stage right now where I have so many ideas for the past year. I'm trying things. This didn't work. I try this. All right, let's try this. and I haven't settled on. I envy where you're at because you've settled on one thing, and all you got to do is keep doing it. Bam, bam, bam. Keep pushing it out, and you're gonna grow off that. I have. I was talking about on a previous video, my buddy Dante, who has this really cool like ASMR thing that he does when he's opening packages or stuff like that, and he's blown up off of that. And other great content because he's a videographer. He does amazing work. But I feel like that is like his viral thing that every time he does it, he's gonna grow.
Mm-hmm.
You have that thing now where every time you do your role playing, you're gonna grow. So I think that's what we should all aim for: is figure out what's your thing, and then double down on who you are.
Yeah, and like I like to tell a story. Like it's almost like as people watch my videos, like my products are only going to get better. Like I'm still like I'm self-taught like from day one, which is also some people don't believe that. Like I didn't go to school for fashion or like anything about that at all. Just business major. So I'm still learning and I still figure tricks out when I'm like sewing now or trying I'll make prototypes here and there. And like, I just think people can follow along and see, like, as soon as they see the intro scene, they're like, I know this guy, but they know they haven't seen the final yet. So they want to see the end. They always want to see where it's going. So you got to have like a curiosity factor and everything.
And you always deliver on that last part too. So wait a minute. So you taught yourself how to sew too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's amazing.
Also, and like like even like design aspect of it. Like I have this little book where I can like draw all the figurines on there. But like that was just I just ordered the stuff and I was like, I'm gonna have to figure this out. If I want to take things to the next level. I mean, I started just flipping thrift. Yeah. That's what I was trying to do in college.
So you're flipping thrifts, and then you start. When did you pick up the sewing machine?
So I tried. I think I made like a website and just tried selling to friends, like because I knew people complimented me on the stuff I wore from thrift stores, but I knew they didn't want to go there and get them themselves. So I tried to just be like an in between. But I don't know. I just didn't feel like they weren't like completely my style. Like I didn't feel right just upselling stuff I bought. And probably after college is when I actually started with just like fabric glue by like cutting t-shirts like in half and just trying to like line them up with fabric glue and like press them all the way around. Like be like, is this washable? Can I wash this? And then it would get all like wrinkly and like messed up. And I just a few YouTube videos and a trip to probably Target, I think. Yeah. Just got a sewing machine. It's the same one I still have now. I mean, that thing's a tank. So, but I've been on and off for years, like doing it because I worked in the restaurant industry after college. And like, that's a lot of time. I doubled down and worked in a Lululemon during a seasonal contract, which was awesome. Loved Lululemon. Not a plug at all, but they're cool. It was like, I mean, I worked at Foot Locker too, so I've had retail experience. I've seen, people bringing back returns that you're always like, where do these go? And they're like, they go, to like an outlet or something, or you always wonder like, do they really? Or so the sustainable clothing was just, it's a great goal, but it was actually a bonus off of what I started to do. It was just like, I want original clothes. I have to make them to get them. And then people started complimenting them. And then I was like, you know what? I mean, I didn't start doing the reels until I think this past year. And that was when I was living out in San Diego, which was fun. That was an experience.
Yeah, your sustainability factor of what you do is very strong. I love that message and the way that you talk about it in your reels. That's another thing to really love about what you're talking about is that as a viewer, you love the piece that you see at the end that you create. And then you're like, yeah, it's a sustainable fashion, man. So it doesn't go to a landfill. I love that you're so vocal about that message. So great, guys. You guys got to go check out all of his content. It really is amazing. So
Yeah.
have you, up until this point, did you start selling full-time your pieces or?
So now I have like, I mean, it was a miracle because I was, like I said, I had ACL surgery at the end of September, and I was unemployed for like before this. And I was just like learning to sew again as rehab. It was my good knee. And I was pushing through. And actually, like at the end of December, I was like looking for jobs, like for a weekend, like what am I gonna do to like guarantee some money? Like I'm gonna start, like I gotta start paying rent at like this year. And I was just like, oh, this is stressful. Like it's gonna go back to the same cycle. I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna get too tired to sew. I'm not gonna want to like keep up with it, and then I'm gonna fade out. And I just kept pushing, and like this blessing came in, and now after my last drop, like, I mean, when I first blew up, I posted my first drop of January, and nothing sold for 3 days. Like the famous like camo jacket that's at like almost 3 million views now. That thing didn't sell for like 3 days on my website. That and like all this other stuff just didn't sell. And then once I like hit, I don't even remember how many followers, the whole website sold out in a day. And then it took me like a week and a half, 2 weeks to put out my last drop from this prior Friday. And it sold out in like 10 minutes. And now I just have to keep that wave up, and I don't see why I just like can't do this the rest of the year and like the rest of like keep going.
You
Like
got it.
I just want to keep rolling. I want to, you know, see where I can go. Maybe start teaching, start, doing tutorials, and like I don't know. I got to figure it out. I haven't.
Guys, it's so crazy how one piece of content can change your life.
Dude, that's
That's
it.
where we're at right now, guys. For anybody having trouble with social media and creating content, don't give up, because right now the stakes are the highest that they've ever been. Yeah, you may feel like you're making a fool of yourself, or and I'm speaking from my experience. It's
Same.
hard sometimes when you put stuff out and nobody's digging it. But look at what happens, man. I thought I was having a great last week of December when my post went viral, and I'm at like 15,000 followers gained now. But that made up for the whole year for me, a whole year
Yeah.
of stagnant growth. And, if that's not an incentive for you to start working on your short form content and just getting consistent with it, here we have Necoda, who literally has a business now overnight. So I asked that question, were you full-time or part-time when it comes to reworking and reselling? You were kind of just like barely going to get started on it.
Barely. I was like I said, I had gained basically like 1,500 followers probably when I first started my Instagram, just from like college, being out on a campus, friends, following just a ton of people, like a family and stuff like that. And I had like 2,000 for like 4 years. Like I'm saying, like I'll let my age go. Like I was in college, I graduated 2018, and I started this in like 2016. And so like it took me years till I finally, like, in my head was like, you gotta be serious about it if you're ever gonna like make this your life.
So from 2016 to when I saw you at the end of 2022, your account, you had been doing it, but kind of just as a hobby.
Just on and off, yeah. When I had time. I mean, the pieces take some days. So
I can understand that, because that's how I was with thrifting for many years before I decided to go full time with it. Was just a hobby. I never actually thought that it would be a main thing until this one day that I was like, all right, I want to, kind of like same situation as you. I was like, I don't want to keep going down this direction. I need to make a change. What is that change going to be? And then I just found, I remember one day I walked into a thrift and I almost like I had an epiphany that's what I had to do full time. And it was kind of jarring for me. It was scary because I had never considered turning my hobby into something full time. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump off the cliff. I quit my job literally the next day, car payment, insurance, rent, all that stuff. I was at a really low point in my life because I was like, this can't be life. I'm not happy. I'm not fulfilled. This doesn't feel good. I need something that gives me purpose. And if that means doing something as crazy as quitting my job, I'll do it. Like, because I'm definitely not happy now. So if I'm going to be going through it, might as well be going through it for my own thing. So I did it. And now to hear you kind of have the same story where you're just like, I got to go in this direction and everything flipped for you. It's kind of crazy how fate came in that 0 hour. And now I'm still in shock. You have a full on business that you can't even, of which the demand you cannot keep up with at this point.
I have like an army of like followers. Like they're so loyal. Like they're sharing like my posts on their stories like 20 or 30 times a day. Like I have like over 100 like DMs probably every 2 days, and just like comments. And people are just so positive. And I mean, we're talking like Budapest, like freaking like all over the country, like world. And like I was just happy I sent my first package to Australia. I was like, woo, like that was pretty cool. I sent like 2 to Canada. Like I don't know, like I just get DMs from people I just never expected, and they're like, I love what you're doing, like love from so and so. And I'm just like, that's crazy. Like, and they're posts from weeks ago. Like that's another thing I was saying with reels. Like, don't be intimidated. I used to check my posts after I posted them like every hour or two and like refresh it. And I think it takes time for reels to like get out there, for people to see them, for like it has to go through like a test group of people for them to even get out to a bigger group. I just That viral reel for me was like 2 or 3 weeks old when it hit, which was wild.
Oh, that's nuts. All right. So
Yeah.
you're doing you go viral. What's the first thing you do now that you've done it? What's the first thing you're supposed to do when you go viral? What's next?
I don't know. I was like, oh, I gotta scale, but like I'm in no rush to like jump into like a larger like space or anything like that, because like I'm in a comfortable place like where I'm at right now. Like I have a following, I know things will sell. Like I'm gonna try and put out more stuff as much as I can. But like I wanna travel and do this like using towns like local resources. Like be like, hey, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna shop there at thrift stores, make a collection like while I'm staying there, like using the area as like influence, like go out like during the day, like, go out to eat, get coffee, see, and use that to like inspire collections with those locally made things. And then who knows, maybe do it like a pop-up if I have like a loyal enough following that they're just like, we'll be there. Or I mean, do like limited drops on the move. I'm just like a point in my life, like I wasn't doing well before this either. And I'm like, I have so many friends in different places that like have been doing well. And I just felt behind for so long that I don't know, this is like, I got to see my friend this past weekend that made my logo like in college. Like he saw my website before anyone did, before I even made it. And like we got to celebrate, and I sold out like right there in front of him. Like we were watching it, and it was just so surreal. So I want to keep feeling that. So I don't want to change and like, you know, start making deals with like corporates or anything like that. Like I can grow to where I want to grow first, and then, pick and choose. Like I'm not trying to like, I want to be humble and stay me, just putting out my designs. Like I've had so much already planned to put out that like I have like a wait list of over like 50 to 100 people. Like
Yeah,
just
Robert De Niro says in an interview that I was watching once, they're like, what advice would you give to people in the industry? And he says, when everything's going really good and you're on fire, when you get to that point, he's like, just relax. Don't think that you're too good or that it's going to last forever. He's like, just relax, move humbly
yeah.
so that you're not making the wrong moves. Because what happens is when you're in a position like that, and I had a similar experience when I was doing the virtual flea, which I don't know if you were even following me then. You said you've been following me for a long time, so maybe you did see it. During the pandemic, when I was hosting lives, I was the only person hosting lives at the time, and a lot of opportunities came my way. And I
Yeah.
did have to do that where I was like, because I had been presented with that before. I know that just because I was really popular at the time, a lot of people are going to want to cling on to that or figure out a way to get onto that. So it
Mhm.
takes a lot of like meditating with yourself and asking yourself, what do you want out of this? What do you want? You know, because a
Mhm.
lot of offers are going to be shown to you, a lot of shiny things are going to be shown to you, and then you have to say, all right, but is that in line with my goal? You know, because
Exactly.
with every one of those offers comes a little piece of your soul, a little piece of your time that you do have to give up, no matter how um, affordable it may seem. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I may be going too deep into it, but yeah, I think the main point that I'm trying to make is just like stay calm.
Yeah. And like, it's not like being selfish by any means when people like hear that, like, yeah, you gotta like do you, like think about you. I mean, that's why you started the account. Like you like that's why I started it. I wanted to eventually make this my life. Like I wanted I that's this is what I want to do. Like I didn't want to was tired of working what I was doing before. I enjoy doing this. And like you have to make money at some point. And like people, like I said, like you're right, like people, there are opportunities, but like you sacrifice like doing custom orders, like you got to use what they give you, you got to use like on their time and stuff like that. And if it doesn't align with your plans, like I had a vacation already planned, I'm going. I'm not gonna like, I'm gonna bring my machine and like I'm gonna test run my mobile business, but like I'm not gonna like stop like enjoying what I'm doing and like force myself to start overworking and overproducing and responding to everything immediately and just like trying to find sponsorships and be an influencer now that I have a following.
Yeah, you don't even have to do that because that's going to happen naturally by
Yeah.
you focusing on what you want. Like at some point, you're going to be like, you're going to get down your production so fast that you're going to be like, yeah, I'll do custom orders. I got time for it.
Hmm.
Or maybe later on, you're going to get so comfortable with creating content so fast that it may be scaling it and having help.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'll do some influencer stuff. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I mean, there's some touching orders in there. Like I have clothes from my like grandmother, like, or a blanket from a loved one that I would love made into something. Like there's a lot of like really sweet like emails that I'm like, oh my God, like
That's
I
awesome.
wish I could, make this for you or like find someone in your area that could find someone. So maybe I can use like my influence in another way. Maybe it's not me making the clothes, but finding people better resources around them after a little bit of information because I am, like I said, I'm one person. I like what I do isn't, specific to me. Like other people are capable of it. It's just how I mean, the designs are what, you know, are up here, but the sewing is capable, everyone can do that. So I want to use it for good. Like I've even looked into some like I want to do fundraising somehow. I want to, you know, just do good things with it. I've never like thought of having like my goal was like 10,000 this year, 10,000 followers, like the whole year. That was my goal. I was like, yo, once I hit 10,000 followers, like I'm gonna coast. Like I'll be good. Like after that, that must be when you start like doing well. And I just like I didn't have a business plan for this. So it's like something I have to come up with as I go. So
Oh
I
yeah, I think
really
that's more important than before you do any traveling or anything. Is like get the whole, so you could make it a business.
yeah,
Get
absolutely.
the taxes right and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Because um, some people won't have that set until it's too late. So
Yeah.
I was gonna say like use this time as much as opportunity as there is to strengthen what you have now.
Yeah.
The next level's already here. Now just strengthen this so that the foundation is nice and strong. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Like my like contacts, they're not going anywhere. Like people that are reaching out, like if they get their piece in a month or two from now, they're still gonna hold it. They're gonna still gonna hold on to that stuff. Like people aren't in a rush. Like they know it's one person. I'm very transparent on that's what I would also recommend to people. Like be transparent. Like if you like, can't do something, tell people. Like there's nothing wrong with that. I think things happen. Like everyone is a real person. I mean, people probably see me now and they're like, oh, this guy is like famous. And no, I'm just like, I'm a normal guy. No one recognizes me on the street. No one ever, it doesn't happen. It's never probably gonna happen.
I think that's going to change, man. I mean, it's almost 200,000 followers in a matter of a month. I think you're going to hit crazy numbers if you continue doing the work that you're doing. Your work is impressive. Your content is engaging. People like you. You said earlier in our conversation that you rewatch some of your own stuff because they're funny. You'll notice little things, and like, yeah, you do little things that it's like, how did he shoot that? Like, there's so many layers
Yeah.
to your content that I think just doing it,
Sneaky
man.
content.
Yeah, and I think you're gonna be even bigger than the items that you make. I can see you doing some real influencer work, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I want to do good. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's just like, I was waiting for this opportunity to come. I mean, I thought it was going to be years from now, like years from now. I mean, hell, like I'm just excited. I'm excited, but like trying to control it. But like, I don't know. I just have so many designs I want to put out, and like then I see all these emails of like, oh, custom orders. Oh, but you have all these like good. I hand select my materials very like tediously, and like I know what I'm gonna make with it when it's in my cart already at the store.
Yeah.
Like I'll purposely buy things together, like fabrics, colors, look at sizes. Sometimes I'll even bring my tape. Um, I
And you
mean,
can easily
I get
go
looked
to
at.
and you can easily go to a fabric store to get this stuff, but to you it's important the sustainability factor. You're repurposing clothes that's already been donated, that's on its way to the landfills
For
by
sure.
repurposing clothes from the thrift.
Yeah, I just don't think like if anyone is gonna buy them there, they're gonna be the same old clothes that they were before that. So, I mean, I just go by like I'm a big fabric material guy. Like I love certain fabrics, textures, faded denims, like being able to turn pants into shirts for me and like jackets was like that was my biggest click. I mean, that is what went viral. But I don't know, there's like I'm like I've just seen pants that I'm like, oh, these are sick. But like pants, like I gotta wear these as pants, like a bright yellow pair of pants, or like I got these mint green corduroys that I really want to make into a jacket. And I'm like, I mean, bigger sizes, the better. Like, you know what I mean? Like 42, 50 waist. It's like, that's fabric. That's more fabric, bigger sizes, more fabric, more uses. I don't know. I go crazy. I can spend hours when I go shopping.
So
It's dangerous.
we've talked a lot about this so far, but what's a tip or tips? It could be more than just one that you would give to someone starting out who's watching this and saying, like, man, I need something like that to happen for my business. I'm going to start creating content. What's the tip or tips that you can give them when it comes to creating content for their business?
I really think it would be like pinpoint a like target, and like also you need a mission, like you need a goal other than like getting my product out. Like other than like people need to buy this, like I'm trying to sell this, those narratives, like I don't think like once you get people liking you as a person, they'll want to buy your products. So if you find, I guess you have to find the product that works for you. I know, like, assuming most people will be doing thrifting and stuff like this on here, but you got to find something that sets you apart from the normal, like everyone else that's doing it. So, and have something people can be a part of. Like they want to join it as like a team. They want to be like you'd be like, hey, like maybe not I'm selling thrift. You could just say like I'm trying to relocate like thrift, like thrifted clothing because they're over. Like I went to my local store and they said they're getting too many donations. I'm trying to help them. I'm trying to, you know, spread. Some people focus their t-shirt brands out there, I'm sure, but I just like really targeting it
Yeah,
and like being you, not
yeah,
being afraid to be you is the key.
And if I could add to that, I would say consistency as well. So stay
Yes.
consistent, so you could even find out who you are in that way of expressing yourself. You know, and yeah, like you said, I think that's a really big tip: defining who do you want to sell this to? Who
Yeah.
whose attention are you trying to get? I think when you focus up your target audience, that helps you be more effective in the kind of content that you make too.
Yeah. Because it's not only finding your target, but you want to know what content that target is going to want to watch. It might not have anything to do with what you're selling, but how you're presenting that stuff. Like I don't use audios or dance or do anything because there's not children buying my clothes. Like I'm not a children's seller or like so I market to people that just they see a guy talking, they're like, this is probably gonna be a short video. I can watch this. It like has a little something to read. It's just enough to like see where it's going. And then it's nothing fancy. Like, there's a lot of people that were like, oh, I thought this was gonna be a joke, but it was actually like educational. Like it was actually like very informative. Like I've never thought of that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's it.
I saw an Instagram coach, one of these like content coaches. He said you want the most effective type of content is edutational, which is education and entertain. No, it was yeah,
Entertational?
entertational. It was educating
Entertational.
and entertaining.
Yeah.
Edutaining, that's what it was.
Edutating.
Edutaining. So
Okay.
it's entertaining and educating at the same time, and
I
that's
like
what
that.
exactly your content is. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's another big tip for you guys. Try to figure out how you can make your stuff be edutaining, where it's funny, and because funny is engaging, piquing people's interest, and then by the end of it, like you said, they're like, "Oh, I just learned something." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, totally.
Because I always thought that like what you post, only your followers see it. That's not the case. Like every time a new group of people are gonna see it every time. So like it might take you a while to figure out what type of videos you have to make. Like I made, like I said, all the kinds. I mean, I say try everything. Like it might work for some people. I mean, some if you're selling products that, like a younger crowd are gonna buy, then market them that way. Or you just it varies on the type and what you feel like what's easy for you to film. What can you make, what content can you make easy and less stressful is what I focus on. Because then you're not afraid to do it. You don't shy away from wanting to do it. Like I really don't do anything in public because I don't like going out in public and filming. My photos I take are in my grandpa's backyard because no one's gonna bother me there. And I know the neighbors. Like I'm from here. So it's like it's not weird. So I mean, you can choose how exposed you are to the public and what you put on there, but it's never like no one's gonna hate you for posting.
That's amazing, man. I love the message that you have. I feel like my last guest, Vintage Zach, amazing, and I love his content. I love how he's growing. Uh, Him and I align on that. You have to be consistent with your content so you can figure out what works, what doesn't. But I
Mhm.
also love your approach, which is that it doesn't have to be that hard, though. Like, yes, be consistent, but consistent doesn't mean break your back.
Yeah.
Of course, try your best, but be practical in your approach, because maybe you're not a person who likes to do content that has a lot of production behind it.
Mhm.
Maybe you like a more practical approach, and if that's the case, try that, but
Yeah.
and then be consistent.
Yeah, because I like I can make so my stuff's so simple for me now. Like I can make multiple videos in a day sometimes and just like set those aside. Like I don't like I could post like 3 a day and just like slam engagement and like just get as much out there. But I'm like at this point, like one a day is like enough for like the reel takes at least 24 hours for it to fully reach everyone. So like why bomb people's feed and like save yourself some content another day. Like there might be a day where you get stuck in traffic or you get stuck on the phone with someone or your grandma calls or like life happens, and I like to have some things prepared for that. So easy is better for me. Um, and like I said, it makes it like less painful to do. I don't mind making them,
Yep.
despite my like just the equipment sometimes.
Yeah. Necoda Matthew, everybody. So let us know what we can expect from you going forward. What do you got planned for the future? I know you got a bunch of things going on, but
Just a lot of cool clothes, and maybe like some sweepstakes, some giveaways type of thing. Like I want to try it live, and I want to help. Like I said, I want to help at least some simple DIYs, intro to sewing type of stuff. Got a lot of requests for things like that because I understand like when like I am this big, like not everyone can have access to buying, and not everyone can afford the stuff, but they all have clothes that they can use at home. Like so there has to be a way that I can help people another way. It might even just be like sending them links that I can find from somewhere else, or like that's something I'm really working on is like helping more people, like, but also helping people like get those confidence boosts, those like this is a one of one like shirt, like I can wear this out and I'm never ever gonna look like anyone else in the room. And it wasn't like anything like crazy, like popular brand that you could go into a store and like they'd have more of them. So that's
I love your line in the last reel. I believe it's the last reel that I even
yeah.
commented like, "Yo, that closing line. What was it? If you wear different, you're gonna
It
look."
was I just that was my like made that slogan up on my like mission statement. It was like if you shop different, you'll be different. So if you go to the department stores and you go through the mall and you shop through the same racks everyone else is shopping through, that's what you're gonna look like. That's what you're gonna be. But if you find someone, you go out of your way, you like know them. Like I oh, he went to Long Island the other day. Like, oh, he likes this. Like he listens to this music. Like I listen to that, or like, he does this. And you're like, that's who I'm buying from. And like when I wear that and people, ask me about it, that's who you can relate to. And it's like I want people to be proud to own the stuff, treat them like art. They're my artwork. So um I don't know, it's just like inspiring. It's motivating for me. Like reading my comments in the morning is like, you gotta get after it, Necoda. You gotta put in that work. The people are waiting. You gotta do it. But like controlling that like good stress, I call it, is really key. Like I've still been trying to go to the gym, which is like I've done my whole life. And I'm like still get my relaxing time with coffee and
So important. You time.
like
That's something that
family time and everything.
yeah, it's so important first thing in the morning to have that time to yourself. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
So
Well, that was my last question right there, Necoda, man. Thank you so much for hopping on. It's been inspiring talking to you. I want to go make some content right now.
yeah.
That's how I feel talking to you, bro.
I was gonna say you're lucky. I mean, actually, it's not that late. It's like 6 o'clock here, but you got the whole day ahead of you mostly.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna go get to it. But thanks again for chopping it up. And you said, that when you see these comments and you see your followers, you're like, got to get to it, Necoda. Well, I'm one of those people too, bro. I literally look forward to your content. I think it's so cool. I gain some knowledge every time I watch, and everybody watching, you guys will too. So make sure you're following Necoda Matthew. I'm gonna put the links somewhere around here, caption and all that stuff. Necoda, any last words?
Nah, man, I just appreciate it. I mean, this is a great first experience for me. I mean, this is like the come up feel. Like it's like so it's like unreal. So like, I don't even believe it's real. Like I might have 200,000 followers tomorrow. So
Enjoy it, man. You deserve it, and please keep inspiring, brother.
I
And I'm
will.
gonna and oh, you got to come back on when you hit a milli. You're gonna hit a milli.
All right, all right. All right. You're gonna if you that's your comment that I put on. Now you're putting that comment now. So we'll have to reclip this. We'll edit this back. Then
Yes, sir. We got to keep throwing that energy back and forth to each other.
it's true. It's true.
All right, brother. Much love, man. Enjoy
Hey,
the rest of the day and best of luck. Congratulations.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Peace.
Have a good one.